all for participating today, and also especially LCI and the LCI community for the opportunity to speak today. It's organizations like LCI that provide the framework for survivors to not just exist but to thrive. Like I said, my name is Joy Henderson. I'm a 12-year lung cancer survivor. I am more than my diagnosis. I am a friend, a consultant, mentor, Harnett County community member, and a realtor. When I was diagnosed back in 2014, my life looked a whole lot different. I just turned 40. I was making strides in my career, and you all know when, well, those of you who have turned 40, that's when you just get your stride. You're comfortable. You're comfortable in your body. You know what you're doing. Things just seem to be moving along, and I loved my 40s. It was just wonderful. And I relocated 2 years prior from Philadelphia. Yes, I'm a Northerner. And the reason why I relocated was because I was working with Campbell University School of Osteopathic Medicine. And our job was to open up the medical school, and I was their director of admissions. So that was my identity. Also, I was an avid social Latin dancer, and that was my thing. I brought that from Philadelphia, and I've been dancing for 10 years before I relocated down here. So that was my thing. It was opening up the medical school and Latin dancing. You couldn't tell me anything else. That was my identity. So in January of 2012, I started not feeling like myself. I wasn't able to dance because usually, like I said, I was an avid dancer, so I was dancing all night. I was on the floor all night until my feet hurt. In January 2012, I couldn't make it through one song, so I knew something was wrong, but I put it off. I also developed a cough. My coworkers and also the students there at the School of Osteopathic Medicine, they were like, "Girl, you look bad." And I'm like, okay, I didn't realize how bad I was looking. And so everyone encouraged me to go to the school clinic. And that's where I was, I guess, shipped to a specialist, and they discovered blood clots on my lungs. And after many tests, I was diagnosed. Now, the doctor who gave me the diagnosis, that was just mind-numbing, because he told me that I would have to quit my job and stay home. And of course, you know that was my identity. I came down to work, we're going to open up this medical school and dancing, and I relocated here. I am single. I relocated here by myself. My closest family is in Virginia, 4 hours away. So needless to say, my whole world was turned upside down. I didn't know how I was going to function. Like, how am I supposed to make money so I can afford my house, but if he wants me to stay home? And I was just numb. Then in walked the chemo nurse, and so she, talked to me. She's like, "I understand that you're upset." And I talked to her, and I'm like, he told me I'm gonna have to stop doing everything that I know and just lay at home and do nothing. And so she met me, she looked at me right in my eyes, and she said, "Joy," and I apologize if I offend anyone. She said, "Joy, he's a man." He is a man. Think about a man when he gets a cold. He's a man. And so she shared with me her story. She said, "Joy, when I was diagnosed and I was going through chemo, I was overseeing multiple operating rooms. I was on my feet all day. If I can get through this, you can get through this." And I'm like, yes, I can. And so we scheduled to have my chemo done on Thursday, so I feel good Friday, and then I could just crash all weekend and be ready and functional for Monday. And so that was the plan. Now, luckily, the physician recommended that I be part of a research study, and so I was able to get connected with Dr. Reddy and Jennifer Tenover, and so I went through the trial, and a little bit into the trial, cancer progressed, so I was no longer eligible. Then we went to Plan B, another treatment, and did that for a little bit, and it was a little high toxicity. Then we went to an oral treatment, which we found out that there was an allergic reaction. But now I'm on pemetrexed, and we were doing the math last Thursday, Jennifer and I, and I just had cycle 171 of pemetrexed, so that was 10 years that I've been on pemetrexed. And honestly, I'm feeling great. There are people who look at me. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't always open about my diagnosis just because I was terrified. I was terrified of what people would think, because cancer runs throughout my family, and like my father had cancer on his vocal cords. My aunts on my father's side, breast cancer. My grandmother had lung cancer from smoking, and I just had a cousin who passed away this week from colon cancer. And so, yes, my family is in the older generation, but when they hear cancer, they see death sentence. And like, I lost a lot of communication with my aunts, because when they heard that I had cancer, they just saw me as like, okay, well, she's dead, and lost relationships. And also, going through this, some of the people that I confided in, they kind of just looked at me and stopped talking to me. I understand you don't know what people are going through. They could be going through other things, and they maybe, and they couldn't handle it. But I lost a lot of people who I thought were my friends through this. But I found a lot of people who were good friends, and they stuck with me, and they've been nothing but support. And I don't know if we have any survivors in here today. Stay with the people who build you up. Stay with the people who will listen to you, because when you're going through chemo, especially some of the more serious chemo, you have to be particular with where you're going to exert your energy. You can't have people who are going to suck it away. So be with people who will build you up. Also, be with the medical team that will build you up, that will be there, that will be your cheerleader. Kind of lost my space. Okay. Like I said, yes, I've lost relationships, and also be there with people who will build you up. My life looks a lot different from. My life looks a lot different now than when I first relocated to North Carolina. It's been 12 years. I switched careers. I'm now a realtor, and I work for myself. I'm able to serve in the community, give back, be on various community boards, Rotarian, Chamber of Commerce member, a crisis counselor, consultant, and now I'm an avid line dancer. I get to spend time on things that I want to spend time on, especially mentorship and guidance. And this has increased, especially after appearing with Paige on WRAL when we talked about the Lunch Forward event, and that was kind of my coming out. And I had a lot of people behind me who was like, Joy, you've been dealing with this for so long, you're such an inspiration. Of course, I couldn't see that. And so they were like, you've been dealing with this for so long, go on TV and tell your story. So I didn't just, tiptoeing, I just kicked the door open, and I'm like, I'm doing this in public. And after that, so many people have approached me and asked me about my story. And also I find out the things that they're going through too. And I'm there to be an ear for them. Also, speaking at the Lunch Forward event, I had survivors come up to me and share their story with me. I am proof of evolution for 12 years. I don't want to gloss over the years that were in between. Of course, they weren't easy. There were some days when I just did not feel like getting out of bed. But there were other days where I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And maybe how I look at things a little differently. Maybe I'll take a nap during the day, or maybe I can get through the whole day. I've gone from just going day by day by day to looking forward to the next week. And then also looking forward to like 2 weeks from now, and then a month from now, and then what am I going to be doing next year? So there has been an evolution, and I'm just so happy now that I'm in the mindset that I can plan for the future. To those who are newly diagnosed, if you're in the audience, I've been where you are, and I'm still here 12 years later. Take advantage of resources like LCI, but do it when you're ready. Like I said, I was a late bloomer, and but now that I'm here, I'm kicking the door open. And attend the virtual lunches, attend the Lunch Forward 5Ks, the Evening of Hope. There's so much information for patient and educational resources. You can find support and family. You know, family you don't have to be related by blood. Family is family. And remember, your journey isn't about just survival. It's about the quality of life that you've built along the way. I want to thank you all for listening to my story. I really appreciate it, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have when it's time for the panel. Thank you so much for your time.